help. You can really help. Please tell me you can help. Hey, I'm sitting here with Tiffany Bass-Bucco, the founder of MsMoney.com, and today we're going to talk about some things that you can write off and that I can write off, and how online resources that can help with this terrible taxes. I'm never going to get through it. I hate taxes so much. Is there a way to really put this bad time of the year in proper perspective?
Well, it's not surprising that with April 15th looming that people start to get very overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And what's important to do is to relax, take your time, do a little research in advance. Now with a bevy of resources on the internet, it makes it so much easier. I mean, you probably remember when you actually had to drive down to the post office or library and get publications and forms. Now it's all at your fingertips. Not only that, but tax tips, how to scrape money off your bill, all this cool stuff's on the internet.
Okay. Is there any way to bring levity to that bevy?
Yeah, well, a good way to start actually is to go to a site like taxmama.com. Now, TaxMama is something I'm quite gravitated to these days, since little baby Buccos due right around tax day.
Look at that.
So,
oh, really?
Yes, he is.
It gives an all new meaning to the deadline. I take it you can't really extend it this year.
Well, I'd have to say I'm doing my taxes a little earlier this year. I've been known to wait till midnight on April 15th to drop it off, but so, I'm learning my lesson.
Is TaxMama then for pregnant tax people?
No. TaxMama kind of does it with a warm and fuzzy mother's touch.
Okay.
It's a great place you can go, like, for some tax funnies, like we talked about. Let's start with a little levity and get some humor about tax time. But it also it also has great FAQs, tools you can use to calculate your taxes, a newsletter, and even updated IRS news.
Ooh. Yeah, because every year they change the tax laws. That's always important to stay on top of.
Yeah, it's hard to stay on top of it, so every year you do need to go back and do a little bit of research.
All right. Okay, so that's the fun part. I bet we have to start getting into the whole, now what do we do with things? And we were talking about the IRS. They have a website?
Of course. Most people probably know about the IRS.gov site. They just relaunched. It's supposed to be easier for the average person to find what they need.
Do you think so? Do you think that?
Well, it's nice that if you look at their site, you go through their contents and you see they break it out at least by individuals. So you don't need to know stuff if you're a business, if you're just an individual, or if you're a charity or nonprofit. You can go right to your section and you don't feel like you're getting lost. And the navigation is easier.
Oh, it's good. How much traffic does it get normally around tax time?
Well, believe it or not, this year they're expecting about 2 billion hits between January and April.
And when we talk about hits, that's
pretty huge.
Is that page impressions or
no,
just like
hits is like all the different combination of graphics and text, but 2 billion is a pretty huge number.
I think that's about 1.99999 billion more than we get.
Than the average site. Yeah, I'd say so too.
Okay, and what can be done specifically on the IRS's website?
Well, as I mentioned before, getting forms and publications is so easy. You can just search for them and type them in.
Okay.
But they also have information, tax stats. You can file through the IRS. There's a lot of really great things you can do.
And let's say, you don't really like the IRS. I've yet to meet someone who really loves them. Are there any other good tax information sites that are out there?
Well, it's nice to go to some alternative sites, like Fool.com is one of my favorite, because they take a complicated subject such as finances and certainly taxes, which can be quite dry and boring, and really put kind of a nice, friendly touch to it. And you can read all about the different categories they have. For example, if you're about to have a baby, you might go to the marriage and family section and look under that what it means. Do I get a tax deduction for little baby Bucco now? Hopefully, since I'm trying to save a little extra money.
So you're going to try to hit that angle. You're really trying to write off your baby?
I think that's the idea. First it was the marriage, now it was the baby, and then, the education and whatnot.
Oh, wow. That's great. Now, and you said that it's good information. It's a way to find a way to save money. Are there any resources that are specifically driven for people that are looking for all the advantages of saving money? You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, well, there's a lot of places you can go to kind of cut money off your tax bill.
Okay.
And so what are your deductions and those type of things.
All right.
The Fool has information like that, and certainly Quicken.com and HRR Block and some of the famous ones, you can go there too.
What about online filing? Where could you do that?
Well, I particularly like TaxBrain because I'm looking at a site that's easy to use. You can come here, they have an online demo. It's self-paced, so you can just go through and click one step at a time, and they actually walk you through how easy it is to file online. And I think that's really important for a lot of people because it can seem overwhelming. You're thinking, oh my goodness, here I'm digitally sailing my return back to Uncle Sam, and what if it doesn't get there? So this will walk you through step by step in a nice, easy interface, and
okay.
I particularly like it.
Okay, I'm not pregnant. Neither is my wife. What are some other things that we could write off? Do you have any good tips?
Actually, there's quite a few changes this year that have come about. For example, what you may not have thought about is if you're a technology professional or you love technology and you wanted to buy some new equipment, this year for 2002 you can now write off $24,000 in equipment.
Whoa!
If you're self-employed or you have a small business on the side, last year, if you're going to go and do it for 2001, it was about $20,000. So that's a lot. You can buy a lot of equipment and digital cameras and things like that.
Even PDAs?
Anything that relates to your small business or your job, you can write off.
I think I'm going to go be buying a lot of equipment like today for next year's taxes. That's a lot of money to save. Of course, you've got a resource, MsMoney.com. What are people going to be able to find there?
Well, we have a lot of information on that. For example, we have other tax tips where you can get deductions, like you can deduct health insurance, which you may have not known. A lot of tech people have become unemployed lately, and all of a sudden that health insurance bill comes really high. So this year you can deduct up to 70% of it. Last year for 2001 it was 60.
What about student loans?
Student loans is another thing. You might decide to go back to school. Maybe you're working part-time when you had a full-time job. And now for 2002 you can deduct up to $2,500 of interest, possibly, for the first 5 years of the loan. And for 2001 it was $2,000.
What if I'm not interested in my student loans? Because I'm not.
You'll have to take that up with the government.
Thank you, Tiffany, once again, and congratulations again, and we hope that goes well, and we hope to have you back too. And maybe you can even bring in Baby Buko.
Yeah, well, how do we save for the future for our babies?
Next
show.
Boy, you're doing so well. You're producing yourself.
There we go.
Thank you so much. Again, be sure to visit our website, techtv.com/call4help. Tiffany has written a great article for us, as usual. It's full of links to all of these sites and a whole lot more, so check it out.